Leadership TV for God and country.
Is it okay? Good morning, viewers out there. Welcome to Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show reaching you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ubebo, and of course, I'll be leading you on the first segment of the program where we review some headline stories from some select newspapers. And of course, on the menu today, we have Leadership, Nigeria's most influential newspaper. We have The Guardian, Blueprint newspaper, Daily Sun, THISDAY, The Punch, The Nation, and of course, Vanguard. These are the papers for headline review in this segment of the show. And as usual on the program, Leadership is first, Nigeria's most influential newspaper. Leadership leads with a story on NAS impending resumption. It says, as National Assembly resumes, Akpabio Abbas move to pacify aggrieved lawmakers. As National Assembly resumes, Akpabio Abbas move to pacify aggrieved lawmakers. The writer says, to swap committees, members intensify lobby. Budget, Electoral Act, Economy, Constitution Review top agenda. Senate screens new CBN governor, deputies today. As NAS resumes, Akpabio Abbas move to pacify aggrieved lawmakers. To swap committees, members intensify lobby. Budget, Electoral Act, Economy, Constitution Review top agenda. Senate screens new CBN governor, deputies today. And beside that leading story, we have presidency mom over Tinubu's return after hunger. Appeal Court treats 1,209 petitions from 223 elections. No world leader invited for 63rd Independence Federal Government. Nigeria records 453 deaths, 11,587 suspected diphtheria cases. Nigeria records 453 deaths, 11,587 suspected diphtheria cases. Forest scarcity. NNPC sustains petrol supply with oil swap. Forest scarcity. NNPC sustains petrol supply with oil swap. We move over to the stories above the headline where we have anxiety as Labour meets on indefinite strike today. Anxiety as Labour meets on indefinite strike today. Tribunal affirms Sanwo-Olu as Lagos governor. From that headline stories, we move over to the page 3 of the paper where we have our stand. Our stand today is on that World Bank's $700 million loan. That World Bank's $700 million loan. From page 3, we move over to the back page of the paper where we have Tuesday column with Ray Murphy. And his column today is on governors, deputies, and fisticuffs. Governors, deputies, and fisticuffs. For more on this continuation of headline stories, the editorial page, that is our stand. And of course, inside stories, just log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, this day is next, and there are many. And this is leading with the story. Senate to screen nominees for CBN governor, deputies today. Senate to screen nominees for CBN governor, deputies today. And of course, ministerial nominees October 3, October 3rd. Sanwo-Olu floors Jandor, Rose Vivo at tribunal. That's the story that continues on page 28 of THISDAY. And above that, we have tribunal at Tinubu asks US court to limit release of CSU records to diploma certificates. Tinubu asks US court to limit release of Chicago State University records to diploma certificates. Says other documents must be precluded. And of course, above that, we have don't embark on strike. Federal government appeals to NLC. Above the masthead, we have NCDMB, NNPC, IOC sign MOU to reduce contract cycle. Story continues on page 5 of this day. And above that, we have APC, Shaibu traumatized by Article Syria electoral failure. APC, Shaibu traumatized by Article Syria electoral failure. SVP's aid dares federal government to release details of petrol landing cost. And with that headline, last headline story, that is where we end today's THISDAY review. And for more stories on this day, inside stories as well, log on to the website of THISDAY, www.thisdaylive.com. And from THISDAY, we move over to the Guardian. Guardian also has similar story on its cover, and it says Cardoso faces Senate under foreign exchange pressure, loss of confidence. Cardoso faces Senate under foreign exchange pressure, loss of confidence. And of course, the Guardian highlighted what Cardoso, that is the new CBN governor, has to deal with: spiking inflation, volatile exchange rates, $6.8 billion backlog, contentious 22.7 trillion naira ways and means advances, ambiguous external reserves, falling bank adequacy ratio, high interest rates, as Cardoso faces Senate today. Of course, these are some of the issues Guardian listed that he will be dealing with as the new CBN governor. Now, underneath that, we have Nigeria to reduce oil sector's contracting cycle to 6 months. Nigeria to reduce oil sector's contracting cycle to 6 months. Ondo deputy governor approaches court to stop impeachment. Nigeria records 7,202 deep federal cases, 453 deaths. The news continues on page 5 of the Guardian. Labour to declare indefinite strike, mobilizing state councils for showdown. Court dismisses PDP Labour Party's petitions against Sanwo-Olu Hamza. And of course, the last story there says East-West Road still abandoned, hellish 17 years on. For more on these stories, inside stories, log on to The Guardian, www.theguardian.ng. From The Guardian, we move over to The Punch. The Punch leads with still on CBN story. Tinubu reviews documents as CBN investigator submits interim report. Tinubu reviews documents as CBN investigator submits interim report. Nigerians will know what really went wrong and what brought us down, according to SGF. CBN special investigator continues audit. Federal government links nation's woes to bad governance. NYG athletes lament poor conditions, maltreatment. NYG athletes lament poor conditions, maltreatment. Of course, beneath that, that's just above it, we have photo caption of the Nigerian Youth Games athletes, sleeping on mattress on bare floor. This is on the cover of The Punch. NYG athletes lament poor conditions, maltreatment. Of course, you can see that with the photo caption above that. Fire God's 3 offices in Supreme Court with impede the mass probe. Fire God's 3 offices in Supreme Court, PDP demands probe. Police begin search for kidnapped Benue commissioner. Kidnapping, federal governments and federal government trade words, more students rescued. We'll go above the masthead of The Punch, where we have strike. Labour accuses federal government of delay. NLC ESCO meets today. Strike. Labour accuses federal government of delay. NLC ESCO meets today. Vandals destroy 108 transmission towers. Federal government alleges sabotage. Senate screen CBN Governor Cardoso deputies today. For more stories on The Punch, headline stories and inside pages, log on to the Punch website, www.punchng.com. From Punch, The Nation is next. The Nation says Probe report will expose what in CBNs, almost similar to that of the Punch. Probe report will expose what in CBN, says federal government. Cardoso deputies facing a screening today. Government entices workers with wage awards to stop strike. Lalong, give us time. NLC NEC meets to decide. We have just some stories just beside that. Mali junta shifts elections. Niger junta okays French withdrawal. Dams disaster 16 charged to court. And on the strip of the paper, we have police repair attack in Katsina. Tomorrow is Eid al-Maulud holiday. And just above all this, we have Benue Governor Elia condemns adoption of commissioner. And above the masthead, we have Zamfara Varsity confirms release of 13 students' orders. 98 Court of Appeal panel sitting on 1,209 post petitions. Assets holdings post 940.3 billion naira gross earnings in first half. Obi distances self from violence cause. For more on these headline stories, inside stories, log on to the website of The Nation, www.thenationonlineng.net. From The Nation, Vanguard is the next on our menu. Vanguard says insecurity. Zamfara government alleges federal government in secret talks with bandits. Insecurity. Zamfara governor alleges federal government in secret talks with bandits. Vows not to negotiate with bandits. Presidency kills mom. 7 abducted Zamfara varsity students. 3 construction workers rescued by troops. Total number of students rescued now 13. Beside that, we have Tinubu has not reintroduced fuel subsidy, APC. Tinubu has not reintroduced fuel subsidy, APC. Fire God Supreme Court chamber destroys 5 computers. And underneath the leading story, we have strike. Federal government will soon conclude wage award to workers. Lalong, the Minister of Labour. Federal government will soon conclude wage award to workers. Lalong. And underneath that, we have NNPC, NCDMB, IOC signed deal to reduce contracting cycle to 180 days. And Appeal Court President says we have over 39,526 pending cases. 2023-24, 2023/2024. MPFL season to kick off September 30th. That is a new story on sports. And we move over to the stories above the masthead of Vanguard. UBA partners AFCFTA to roll out $6 billion financing solutions across Africa. Federal government to Nigerians, be patient with us on tough economic reforms. Leadership, insecurity, poverty, all that stalling Nigeria's development. ACF. NNPP slams Kano Tribunal over bandits' terrorist claim. Eid al-Maulud, federal government declares tomorrow public holiday. These are the leading stories on Vanguard newspaper today, Tuesday, September 26, 2023. For more on these inside stories, log on to the website of Vanguard, www.vanguardngr.com. And from Vanguard, we move over to the next paper on our menu, and that is Blueprint. Blueprint says, Appeal Court at annual legal year. We got 813 petitions from party primaries. 1,209 for 98 tribunals. Appropriate living budget for judiciary, CJ enters NAS. Appropriate living budget for judiciary, CJ enters NAS. Fagbemi cautions on threat to judges. Fire God's Supreme Court. Fagbemi, that is the Attorney General of the Federation, cautions on threats to judges. Fire God's Supreme Court. The story continues on page 5 of the paper. And beneath the leading story, leading picture on the cover of Blueprint, we have Gome adopts Benue Commissioner S. Zaki Biam Council Boss. Sanwo-Olu floors PDP at Tribunal. Customs FOUC intercepts 1.6 billion naira hard drugs, IED materials. Edo/Ondo saga, renounce your Guba ambition or face the consequence. Obaseki text Shaibu. Edo/Ondo saga, because it's the same story that is generating from both states. The governor is at loggerheads with the governors are at loggerheads with their deputy. Edo/Ondo saga, renounce your Guba eviction or face the consequence. Obaseki tests Shaibu. Obaseki, the governor of Edo State, tests Shaibu, his deputy. And underneath that, we have Ayeda Tiwa runs to court over planned impeachment. That is the deputy governor for Ondo State. Runs to court over planned impeachment. My life is in danger. Ondo speaker cries out. From that, we move up, just up before the masthead. First bank committed to Africa's economic transformation at Deduta. Guba, INEC conducts mock accreditation in Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi. Federal government announces low-key 63rd independence celebration. Diphtheria, Nigeria recorded 453 deaths, 7,202 cases, federal government says. For more stories, continuation of these headline stories, log on to Blueprint's website at www.blueprint.ng. From Blueprint, we move over to the last paper on our menu today, Tuesday, September 26, 2023 edition of the program, and that is Daily Sun. Daily Sun says Tinubu moves to stop Chicago University. Tinubu moves to stop Chicago University. And the writer says, wants institution not to release details on gender, transcript, other academic records, but only certificates. Tinubu moves to stop Chicago University. He wants institution not to release details on gender, transcripts, other academic records, but only certificates. Federal government begs for more time as Labour means to decide on indefinite strike. Nothing can be done until Tinubu is back, says Labour Minister Lalong. Nothing can be done until Tinubu is back. And we move just beneath the headline story, the leading story. Seeking investors abroad, waste of time. That is Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi. Seeking investors abroad, waste of time. Labour Party taking back Nigeria will come without violence. No cause for alarm over fire incident, Supreme Court. We suspect foul play, PDP. INEC to conduct mock accreditation of voters in Kogi, Bayelsa, Imo in October 11. Tension in Benue as government adopts commissioner as local government area chairman. Act barbaric, condemnable, unacceptable, says the governor. Nose, throat infection kills 453 in 9 months. That is diphtheria. Urgent vaccination efforts underway. Suspected cases hit 11,000. Tribunal dismisses Jandor rose before petitions. Affirms Sanwo-Olu's election. And of course, the submitting story, it says, S. Kano Emir, Sanusi hits APC hard. Says government under ruling party has set Nigeria 40 years backward. S. Kano Emir, Sanusi hits APC hard. Says government under ruling party has set Nigeria 40 years backwards. Abducted 13 Zamfara students, 3 others regained freedom. The story continues on page 4 of Daily Sun. Now for continuation of these headline stories, inside stories in Daily Sun, log on to the website www.sunnynewsonline.com. Well, viewers, this is where we come to the end of newspaper review today, Tuesday edition, September 26, 2023 edition of your breakfast show on television. Until I come your way again, same time, maybe tomorrow, the head is wishing you have a beautiful day. My name is Winifred Webo. See you then. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-61 58. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.